Hello, this is N4NT, Adam, club president, and what I'd like to start doing, and we'll see how this works and how folks like it, is do a video narration of the club newsletter. I'm not going to read every paragraph verbatim, that kind of thing, but basically just give a little bonus synopsis. What I want to try to start doing with next month's newsletter is send the link for this video out at the same time. You only get one email. With this particular newsletter, though, we do have the benefit of this coming out a few days later, so there could be some other information we might pick up that we didn't get in the newsletter. So what I'm going to do with the first video is kind of show you some features of the newsletter you may not have realized were there. Any of these pictures that we have loaded here, not only can you copy those for your own use, but they also link to different websites. If you click on the BARC logo, it takes you to the group Facebook page. What I may end up doing for the next newsletter is change that to the club website, since we've been able to get in there and update it. But for this one that you've got now, it'll take you there. If you click on the ARRL logo, take you to the ARRL website. All right, so this is the May 2020 edition. Our next meeting is going to be on the air on May the 7th at 7 p.m. The COVID-19 stuff, even though the state of Tennessee, which is where we meet on the Tennessee side, everything's opening back up in stages. We're just not quite there yet. And I would anticipate, I haven't heard this yet, but I would anticipate the hospital may be taking a little while longer, because they definitely have high-risk people in there and don't want to expose anyone. So we'll play it by ear, see how things go. It might be a situation where maybe we could find another location temporarily or something. But also we got to consider that a lot of our membership may fall into that high-risk group, so we may decide we want to continue going as we are right at the moment. So we'll discuss that at the meeting. And of course, since we are meeting on the radio, we'll suspend the programs. Maybe we could consider this the program, and for future meetings where we have to meet on the air, if anyone has any programs they'd like to submit, we could always do a video and submit it and put that in the newsletter, and we'll consider that our meeting program. Whenever we do the club meeting on the air, we will utilize the NetLogger program. If you've not seen that, I'm going to bring that up on the screen here and let you take a look at it. And we go down through here and we make a list of all the people that are checked in. It also has an instant messenger. You click this button right here, it says AIM window, and this little box will pop up and you can shape that however you want to. And you can type messages, and anyone that has this box up that's monitoring via NetLogger can see those. So what I do is I'll have this up. I've got two screens on my computer. I'll have this up during the meeting. That way, if someone needs to come in that way, if they're out of range of the repeater. And we'll also broadcast it live on YouTube. And there's a chat window there as well, and I'll be monitoring that. So, any club member can come in that way. Also, we did extend the club membership cutoff. Basically, the club voted last meeting that we'll extend that until we can meet again in person. So if you're a paid member through 2019, you haven't had the chance to pay your dues, and maybe you like to do that in person as opposed to mailing a check or something, then we're going to hang on to those folks until we can do that. And our normal reminders of our weekly club nets, one club net and then the other fusion net. 2 meter net, Chris, K4XMN, still our regular net control with me as a fill-in, so join us for that. This picture doesn't link to anything when you click it. And then we have the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion net. We try to broadcast that live on Facebook, so if you don't have Fusion radio capability and you'd like to check it out, go to the YouTube channel, which I'll talk about here momentarily. You can click on this and it'll say file not found. Okay, I got to fix that link. That is supposed to go to this site right here. and which is the net website for the Tri-Cities Mountain Empire Fusion Net, and there's links to us and Mears and the YouTube channel and a few other groups. So let me get back to the newsletter. And again, a lot of these pictures that are on here, they link to something. These blue text link to something. So there's the link directly to the, now this one, if you click on it, will get you right to the, okay, I gotta fix those links. I'm not gonna go back and edit this video for that. I'll fix it, because it's in the newsletter already, and it's gonna be the next one before I can do it. Whenever possible, re-record both nets and broadcast them live on YouTube. I want to explain something I did right here. I changed the name of the YouTube channel from Bristol Amateur Radio Club to Ham Radio Zone. That's not me like separating from the club in any way because of that. A couple of reasons I did that. One, we have started featuring content from so many different nets and amateur radio activity that it made it easier to name the page one thing and then give each group their own individual playlist, and that includes the Bristol Amateur Radio Club. So you click on that link. Hopefully this one works. Ah, there we go. It's going to look different for you because I am the administrator, so it's going to take me to a page where I can edit videos, and it'll look slightly different. There was a thing here where I could look at it as if I was someone else, and I don't know where that went. But anyway, you can go on here, see individual videos, but the ideal thing is to click playlist, and as you can see, the Bristol Amateur Radio Club is featured on here in multiple playlists, and we break it down, field day, nets, break it down by year, our club programs, all that kind of stuff. But we've also got some other groups in here, QSO America, which is a Wires X group. Of course, you got good old miscellaneous if you can't put it anywhere else. Friendly bunch, that kind of thing. So that's the reason we went with a little bit of a different approach. Also, that we have picked up a bunch of subscribers doing it that way. So taking away the Bristol Club name, changing it to this actually gets the club more exposure because people seem like they're more apt to be drawn to this page because it's called Ham Radio Zone, and they get in here and they find Bristol Amateur Radio Club, the Friendly Bunch, QSO America, whoever at Tri-Cities Mountain Empire, Fusion Net, whoever else we feature. So that's just sort of a quote-unquote marketing strategy that I went with there. Has a pretty neat little background picture, and that picture's hard to see right there, so if you'll bear with me, I will find that picture here in just a quick second and show that to you. Here we go. There it is. So that page, neat little picture of my son right there sitting at the radios, and then the shack and all that kind of stuff, and the little animations. It's called the Ham Radio Zone. The motto is to educate, entertain, and promote amateur radio. So we lean heavy with the entertain part, and what I mean by that is featuring nets and so forth, content for people to view. But we also do educational videos, and there's a bunch of pages, YouTube channels out there that do that, do educational videos also. So I think what makes us unique is the entertain part, and of course we're trying to promote the hobby by doing this and bring more people in. The Wires X room, of course, we feature the digital net using it. The Wires X room is still, and will be for the duration, called the Bristol Amateur Radio Club room. It's pretty neat naming it that because we get a lot of people from Bristol, England, kind of popping in there, thinking that it's them, or people from other areas looking for Bristol, England, and who knows, we may pick up some people that'll join us on a regular basis and kind of stick. Club dues are still $15 per year and $7.50 per family member. And remember, if you have a family member that's interested in amateur radio and wants to join the club, then they can join kind of under an associate membership if they're not licensed. My 10-year-old son's getting really interested, so next chance I get, I'm going to sign him up, and he's going to start coming to the meetings with me and learning. I already mentioned that we voted at the April meeting to extend the cutoff period. Our license testing sessions, of course, have been suspended or outright canceled at the moment due to the COVID-19. Um, just monitor the newsletter and Facebook or the nets or what have you, and we'll see how those things change. Ben had mentioned possibly going with a different testing group than what he'd normally been using, because the particular group, the W4VEC group, has actually outright canceled their testing session. So if we do open up at a later time, we might have to go back with ARRL or something. But we'll let you know as that goes along. If you have any questions about that, email Ben. You can click on that link right there, and it should open up your email. If you have it set up that way. I don't have Outlook set up, so I can't click on that and do that, or you can give him a call. So under the President's column, I was going to post an article this month that I was asked to write by the ARRL Virginia section manager on how that we simulcast our activity and our meetings and so forth. They're doing some stories on how people are coping with the coronavirus, and the reason I didn't put that in this month's newsletter is I got a email back after I sent the article to him, and he said that he was going to submit it to QST. I was reading some of the rules and stuff they have, and they don't tend to publish things that have been published somewhere else already. I doubt they would pick up on our newsletter, but I don't want to take a chance on it. So if it makes it into QST, then I'll also post that in here, or a mention of it, so you can see it in QST. But that is a lengthy process, so we may be looking at a couple months. I'm looking for articles to submit in the newsletter. Really like to get some participation from the club members. So if you would, right here, submit those. You can send them to my personal email if you want, or we do have a club email address set up now. It's barc.w4ud@gmail.com. Again, you can go into the newsletter and just click on that. Been trying to get the club's website updated for quite some time, and I had sent some information over and hadn't heard anything back, that kind of thing. So I'm not sure what was going on. So I emailed the QSL.net and I said, hey, what can we do? Because the reason I did that is if you Google Bristol Amateur Radio Club, first thing that's going to come up is that website. And so I was looking to try to direct people into more up-to-date information, and really without much solicitation, the owner of QSL or whoever sent me the login and password and said, here you go. I have software that I can edit that with. So I went in, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. I've updated things. I think I got to fix a couple typos on here, and I'll do that next few days while I'm off. But I've updated the information about the repeater, the fact that we feature C4 FM mode, wires X room, all that kind of stuff. The page used to list the old meeting rooms that we meet in, and even though they typically give us the same room, it's still kind of a possibility we may get different rooms. So I've updated that information on the front page. A lot of things that were there, though, to begin with are still there. This address now forwards to the new club email address. I've also added links to the social media pages that we have or are featured on. And then, of course, I left down here the original design by Genesis Enterprise. I have updated the other links page. Made it a little bit different. Now there's logos you can just click on for each one of these websites. If you have anything that you want to have featured on there, send it to me, and we'll add it. We have a disclaimer down here that we do feature brands of radios and manufacturers or whatever, but we're not tied to or leaning toward any of them. We'll feature anybody. So if there's, we can throw a link on there or whatever. Everybody's welcome, and we'll do that. And then there's some other clubs and stuff. And then you got the FCC and EHAM. So anything you want to have featured on there, just send that to me. And of course, all these links stayed the same. The newsletter, let me mention that one. And I have that highlighted in the newsletter. Each month when I put out a newsletter, I'm going to put it on this page, and all you have to do is click on that, and it'll take you to it. Which I was going to come back to that anyway, but Click on that, it'll take you to it, or you can click up here and return to home page. Speaking of putting the newsletter on the website, if anyone has any past issues of the newsletter, I'm going back through my archives, but I had a computer crash, so I lost some of the email copies from last year. Basically, what you see on there, January through May of this year, is what I have. I might be able to find a few others, but if you have any of the emailed copies over the years, in particular, what I'm looking for though is if you've collected the paper ones and you have the time to sit down and scan some of those in, especially if there's some that have something kind of standoutish, particularly interesting that you think should be featured, then either if you would scan those and email them to me in a PDF format, or if you can get them to me and I'll scan them and get them back to you. I'd really like to have some of our old newsletters. I'd like to go back as far as we possibly can. I can scan those, put them on the website where people can download them, look at them, that kind of thing. I think that would be really neat. So that's what this portion of the President's section mentions right here. This is our on-the-air club meeting procedure. Basically what I talked about, YouTube, NetLogger, that kind of thing, and the procedure that we'll do. We'll take check-ins. If we have to vote on anything, we'll do it by roll call. Also, one other thing, the Wires X room, which stays in digital mode all the time, for the duration of the meeting, we'll set it to analog. That way, if you are out of town and you want to attend the meeting, and you have the capability, then you can use Wires X, and you'll actually come out on the analog side of the Bristol Amateur Radio Club 146.67 repeater. As normal, we've posted the ARRL contest calendar. I looked on it. There's nothing showing for May. I also added another site here, the WA7 BNM calendar. This is where you will find some other contests. He has like an 8-day, 12-month perpetual calendar, different ones. I know there's some state QSO parties going on, that kind of thing. This is where you'll find the NAQPs and those kind of things. You can find the dates for those contests. I encourage you, if you participate in these contests, to if you don't mind, just carbon copy me on your email for your scores, and I'll put all that together. If it's something that several club members especially have participated in, or if you go solo on one and you put the club down. Some of them will let you do that, some of them won't. Send that to the club email, and I'll include that in the newsletter. We certainly want to recognize you for your efforts. Another thing you may not have noticed, you can actually click on this link right here. So if you want to get club apparel, like the jackets and hats and the polo shirts, and there's other things that you can get the club logo on, then you can click on this website right here. If anyone has anything else that they can make or whatever, or a distributor of apparel that they want to include that will do our club logo on something, we certainly welcome that. Right at the moment, these folks are the only ones that I know of that have it. We might include in here the guy that can make the stickers, in case you still, if anybody actually wants to buy those, they can just go direct with that gentleman. Click on that, takes you to that website. Again, they make a really nice hat and jackets. The logo's on everything now, whereas before, the original company these folks bought out only put the logo on the coat, on the jacket. The hat and the polo shirts would only feature your call sign. Now you get the logo on everything. They have a small and large version, and you can get some other neat stuff from these people, safety jackets, safety vests rather, and that kind of thing. Again, we're not affiliated with them. We don't get any kind of kickback. So, if there's anyone else that comes in that'll do the same thing, we'll feature them as well. The NetLogger program, you can click on this right here, and you can download it. It's a safe download. And we use it for the 2-meter net. We use it for the Fusion net. And as you can see right here, right now, there's a bunch of nets going on as I'm recording this. It's really a neat program. And it keeps taking me to the top of the page, so I have to scroll back down and remember where I'm at. And same thing in the newsletter. We have all of our social media. This right here is a link for the ARRL page that features the club info, Instagram, and Twitter. I haven't been posting on these a whole lot. However, if everything is a go for field day this year, I usually post stuff there. Um, I did read a article that came out about 2 weeks ago that's RL. It didn't come out and say they were canceling field day or just absolutely changing it, but they were encouraging people to operate individually, use their own call sign, and then submit their information with their club's name with it. But they were not going to compile the scores. It was just a matter of if you submitted a log, it would show your club's name out there as well. So I don't know if anything's etched in stone right at the moment. And then the club email address is down here at the bottom. So if a person decides to unsubscribe to the newsletter, they can click and send us an email and tell us. Or if you're picking up this newsletter either through this video, or we also put it on Facebook and the website, but you don't get the email, you can click on here and shoot us a line, and we'll subscribe you to the club email. Like I said, I won't go in and explain the features of the newsletter on every video. Since this was the first one, I figured I'd go ahead and do that. But again, if you'll, especially if you have any of the old paper copies of the newsletter, you can get them to us and let me scan them, or if you can scan them and just send them to me, I would greatly appreciate it. But that's the rundown of the content of our newsletter. Do me a favor, if you like this, if this is something you want to see us continue doing, just send me some kind of feedback, either to my personal email, the club email, shoot me a message on Facebook, or tell me next time you're on the air. Just kind of give me some feedback and let us know. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit the thumbs up button, or you can make comments. So I encourage you to let us know that people are actually watching this and enjoying it. So with that, I will say 7-3, and this is N4NT Club President.